Hello and welcome to the Ultimate Bro Day workout. Now this is a little workout I put together myself, and this is trying out new exercise as well. I've never tried out before. So if you see an exercise you like the look of, feel free to include in your program or just even try out for yourself. So the first exercise I'm trying off the first time is a trap bar pendlay style row. Why am I doing a pendlay style? So there's no lower back involved really. It's kept to very minimal. Why is that? Because I do a lot of squats and deadlifts during the week as well, so my lower back is already getting sufficiently trained in my opinion. So we're doing a pendlay row style, so it literally is just near enough all upper back. We're doing high weight, low reps on this as well, and the advantage that the trap bar has over a barbell is that there's more range of motion, as you can see from the side angle as well, compared to a barbell row, because when you row with a barbell it just ends up hitting your stomach. With the trap bar it can go further than that, where you feel a lot of it in your rear delt as well, which is always good for building up as well, because the rear delt's an important muscle to hit really, because you need that for benching as well, to get the stability on the bench when you're pressing up as well, because your rear delt and upper back's involved when you're pressing as well. So I'm doing a lot of bench press, so this is a very good exercise to do, and this comes in as the first exercise to do just because it's probably the biggest compound movement of any of the exercises that will be in this, because a lot of it's purely like isolation movements, as you can tell by the title of Bro Day workout. There's a lot of arm exercises in this, so I really enjoyed doing the trap bar row. And even though I do quite a bit of back work during the week, the back is such a big muscle, like it's huge. The back, there's so many little muscles that make up the back, and the recovery in the back's pretty good as well. So I haven't trained back in 2 days. The last time I done was 5 sets of dumbbell row. Now I've done 3 sets of trap bar row and my back feels fine as well. The recovery is fine as well, so you can train your back quite a lot as well. I know a lot of people train their back like every day they go in the gym, which is what I do as well. There's just more back work as well, because a bigger back is just aesthetically pleasing, and it helps with a lot of exercise where your upper back is needed, like I said, the bench press. So the next exercise that we're doing is a trap bar shrug. Now it's a trap bar where you have to do shrugs with it. The ultimate gym bro, obviously. Now with the shrugs, my traps are not built up very much. For a long part of my training, the best part of a year, I neglected all shoulder training, so I wouldn't do any overhead stuff, like even like dumbbells or barbells. I never done a shrug or anything like that, so my physique looked very strange and out of context basically. So I'm focusing now on building up my shoulders as well for aesthetics as well, and this also builds up the neck as well, so the traps and neck are getting hit with the shrugs. And I enjoy doing it with a trap bar. With a barbell, not so much. With the dumbbells, yeah, I do like dumbbell shrugs. I think they're very good as well. But with the trap bar as well, and I'll notice in this watching the footage back, you need to have your hand position in the middle of the trap bar, so it stays central and doesn't move up or down. Like, you need to make sure your hands are centered with the trap bar, so it doesn't swing back or forward. As you can see in this set, where it is going back, because my hands are not centered, so I have to drop the bar, pick it up, and finish the rest of the set off as well. And as you can see by my face as well, I'm getting it is quite tiring and fatiguing doing shrugs, but it's fun, it's enjoyable. I enjoy this exercise, and it's important for me to build up my traps, like I said, for aesthetics, because my shoulders aren't really built up, but that's just purely my fault for not focusing on any barbell overhead press or even like dumbbell press. Like I said, it's always good to have like a day like this where, although your traps get hit by like benching and that, it's important to like isolate and just do like this is just 3 sets, so this is like about 10 minutes just to spend doing this exercise, and it helps build up the traps as well, like I said, aesthetics. And yeah, it's a very good exercise. I'm putting it in second in this workout split, because that's an area which is quite important for me to hit. The third exercise is the seated easy bar curl. Now this is an exercise I recently discovered by watching Alpha Destiny's video on curling, and I've been doing just like standing easy bar curl and barbell curl for quite a while now. I was getting a bit bored of the exercise. I came across his video and it was the seated version of it. I thought, oh, why don't I try that? See how that works for me. Well, I discovered that yes, with this exercise there's less range of motion because you sat, but it is quite tough. Even though you think, oh well, I don't have to curl the bar up too much, it's literally half the movement's gone, it's only the top half really. But it is quite tough and challenging, and I enjoy this exercise. I think it's a very good variation to chuck in it or swap in your program if you've just been doing like the standing for quite a while, because your legs are gone from this movement, so you can't get any momentum or force or power from your legs as you seated. So it is like purely bicep and arm. So yeah, it's a very good exercise, one that I enjoyed. Obviously doing 4 sets of this at 10 reps, 28 kg. This is a weight I'm quite comfortable with, so in the next few weeks I will think about increasing the weight on this, and also maybe adjusting my form a bit, because it's like not the greatest form as well. I mean, the elbows moving as well, where you want to keep your elbow in a kind of a fixated position, so it is just your biceps really doing the work. But again, it's a very good bicep exercise, one that I enjoy doing. And like I said, if you're getting bored of any curls, any different curl variations you have in your program, why not give it a try? I'll be sticking with it for quite a while. I do enjoy it, and then we'll see what the carryover is to like when I go back to standing curls, if that's helped. So the 4th exercise we're getting into is the TBar Roll, made famous by Arnold doing it as well. Unfortunately, I'm not rowing as much as him just yet, but I will get there. So little modifications I've made to it. Obviously mine's a landmine attachment, and I'm using the V-bar for my handle as well, rather than the handle or just using the barbell. What's important on the TBar row is to make sure your back is kept straight. Now, what I was doing a mistake was like rounding my back, so just because it felt easier, but that increases the risk of getting injured. So make sure just to keep it straight. If you have to, drop the weight. And I'm using small plates in this. I'm using 10 kg, so 4 10s and 2 5s. Why is that? Just more range of motion compared to using like 20 kg bumper plates. You don't get as much range of motion, and I've found that just using these smaller plates is better for me, and I get more out of it rather than just using the 20 kg just because of the range of motion. But this is a very good exercise. It's one that I recently discovered and I really do like for building up the upper back as well. Obviously the lower back isn't targeted as much, which is good because I don't want it to be targeted, and I enjoy it. So we've done a trap bar row and a landmine row as well, like pretty high sets as well. So first one was 3 sets, obviously low reps, and then 5 sets of this afterwards, just dropping the weight as it goes. But again, the T-bar row, the V-bar attachment, a very good back exercise. Like if you're getting bored of just doing barbell rows, lat pull downs, and you just fancy a change, but you don't have access to a T-bar row in the gym, if they do have a landmine, just get that and then stick the V-bar on, and I promise you it'll be a very good back building exercise, one that I really enjoy doing. One of my favorites actually, but a very chatty, very rowy looking exercise, but make some modifications so we can get the most out of it, the most range of motion by just using the smaller plates. So if you go to your commercial gym, you might get some annoyed people in there if you're just going around taxing all the 10 kilos and 5 kilo plates, but you're in there for yourself, not for anyone else, so you have to be a bit selfish. Obviously with a home gym, that problem doesn't arise because it's all your own equipment anyway, so you win in there if you have a home gym. The 5th exercise that we're doing is the upright row. Now this is an exercise which I recently came across that's been kind of trending in the fitness YouTube. Well, I've been seeing a lot of people do, like Baldomia Man and like people like that, and it's an upright row I'd never done before, just because people were saying, oh, it's bad for your shoulder, etc. And I've like kind of stayed away of like, oh, they say it's bad, I'm not going to do it, oh, this other exercise is better. But what the upright row does is that it hits all 3 of the deltoids as well as a trap, so it's a very good exercise for that, hitting all 3 parts of the shoulder, which is very good and a very good bang for your buck almost. But what's important is that there's 4 sets of this. Each set I'm doing slightly different, so I'm not getting hurt by it, because everyone's different how they're built as well. So the first set I'm doing, I was bent over quite a bit, about 20 to 30 degrees, we'll call it like that. Obviously I'm still feeling it in my shoulder, my traps. It feels really good, but I was getting a bit of a niggle, a bit of a pain. So for the second set I readjusted and wasn't leaning over as much, and I am using a bit of momentum as well, a bit of a swing, but I'm still hitting the shoulder. I can still feel it. I don't think it's cheating too much or it's like really bad. I think there's some exercises which you can bend the rules for a bit on your form. It doesn't have to be 100% strict, but when it comes to like compound movements such as bench press, squat, deadlifts, you can't cheat your form on them. Some of these like more isolation moves you can get away with. So I'm like mixing up with grip as well. I went wide grip as well, that didn't feel too good, so I went for the last set with quite a narrow grip as well, and that felt a little bit better. But again, front raises or upright rows as they're called, a very good exercise, and I encourage you to do it. You may have to play around with your grip, how much momentum you use, how much you bend over as well, and how many fingers you have in the bar as well. everyone's different as well. Some people may find it better by just staying strictly upright, not using any momentum. I have to use a bit of momentum and a bit of a narrower grip to really feel it and get the most out of the exercise. But just an exercise you need to experiment and play around with, and don't be put off by all these people saying, oh, it's dangerous, whatever. Just play around with it, see what is dangerous, because you go on YouTube now and blinking every exercise is bad for you and terrible for you. So it's just about experimenting and seeing what really works for you. And I really like the upright row as well. Again, a very good exercise, hitting all part of the shoulder and traps. So the sixth exercise we're getting into is the French press, or also known as the seated easy bar tricep extension. Now, this exercise I recently came across not too long ago. I found it on Twitter. Alexander Cortez tweeting about Bill Pearl's arm routine, and it said French press, and I was like, oh, I'd look to see what exercise that was. I never heard of it. So I've been doing it for the past 2 to 3 weeks, and I really like this exercise. I think it's a brilliant one for building up the tricep, and it's one that, again, I don't see many people using. I just thought, well, I'll try it, see how it feels compared to a rope pull down or using a straight bar for the pull down. Again, it's just mixing up and giving a different variation as well. If you're bored of just doing rope or straight bar tricep pull down, do something that's overhead, extends it, and again builds up the triceps brilliantly. Really enjoy doing this exercise, and we're actually going to superset it with reverse curls. Now, reverse curls may be one of my favorites, if not my favorite bicep movement. Why do I like the reverse curl so much? It helps a lot with wrists. Now, I used to get a lot of wrist pain as well, and with bicep curls, you're using the wrist extensors with just normal barbell curls, for example. With reverse curl, you're using the wrist flexors, so that builds up strength in the wrist flexors. When you're bench pressing a lot as well, your wrist gets a lot of work when you're re-racking the weight and racking the weight off the power cage or bench, whatever you're using, and you put it down flat. That can hurt your wrist as well. So it's a problem I had for a long time, and when I first started doing reverse curls, it actually really did hurt my wrist a lot, but that's just because my wrist flexors were really weak. So this exercise, you don't want to go too heavy on this, and this is a brilliant one to superset with French press, because for both exercises you'll be doing relatively low weight just because of the difficulty of the exercise. So this is very easy to superset with. You can just go straight from doing the French press and then straight into reverse curl within a minute or so. A minute's rest between both, and then back onto French press and then back onto reverse curl. Works very well. I think it's a really good and underrated superset, and I really do think it'll be a great addition to your program, or any day if you've got an arm day or upper body day and you want a good finisher to really absolutely exhaust the arms. Definitely do the superset of just doing reverse curls and the French press. Now, when it comes to the last set, I just go to failure on it, because it's well, the biceps and triceps can take a lot of work. I'm not going to be using them. Well, the next time I do any direct isolation bicep or tricep movements won't be till next week, next Sunday or Saturday, depending on what day I do my workout on. So it's just best to just go straight out to failure and see how many reps I do get and how much I'm capable of, and see how far away I am. So for the next weeks, I can up the weight slightly or up the reps, seeing how far I am away training from failure. And then also the reverse curls will also build up your forearms as well. So if you don't want to do any forearm direct exercises, this is a very good one for building up the forearms as well. Again, this is aesthetics as well, but a lot of people don't have really built up forearms. Yes, they have built up biceps and triceps, but the forearms are lacking as well. So this is again a very good exercise for wrist flexors, your elbows as well. It's a different direction the elbows are going in as well. And I really enjoy this exercise. I think it's a really good curl variation, and again, one of my favorites, and is unique in its way that it does the forearms and uses the wrist flexors rather than the wrist extensors. So thanks for watching this full bro day workout. Hope you've enjoyed. Maybe you've saw an exercise there that you haven't saw before, such as the TBar Roll or even the French press. Again, all these exercises you can use in your program, maybe just add to it as well. So TBar Roll will be a very good accessory to a barbell row or any other row for that matter. Shrugs can be used at the end of any workout, same with the seated curl or reverse curl even. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on another video.